I've not used this before, so I'm just trying it out.
Hey man, it's been too long since we sat down and that just feels wrong. Allow me to give my head a shake, open my eyes and fix a mistake. Do you wanna come over? Just like the old times, we'll hit pause and then hit a rewind. You wanna come over? Just like the old days, and we'll watch the time just fly. Hey buddy, no strangers here. These times I hold them dear. My door's open, so come on in. This was great, let's do it again. Do you wanna come over? Just like the old times, we'll hit pause and then hit rewind. You wanna come over? Just like the old days, and we'll watch the time just fly. Do you wanna come over? Just like the old times, we'll hit pause and then hit rewind. You wanna come over? Just like the old days, and we'll watch the time just fly.
It's a shootout. I am Deputy Mad Dog Zazel, hanging out with the sheriff around these parts. Gazz the Kid. We're forming a posse today, all right? Because we can't do it just the two of us. Just the two of us. We can't do it just the two of us. We need to form a posse. We're going to go down Main Street. We're going to have a shootout. And who better to have by our side than our good buddy, Buckshot, Dreadnought, Ryan.
Well, Johnny Ringo, you look like somebody walked over your grave.
Well, howdy. Well, I know which one's the good, I know which one's the bad, and I know which one's the ugly, but we'll leave it to the chat to figure out which one's which.
The good,
Let's have a look to the chat
the
real
bad,
quick, and then we can
the ugly.
which over your head. Who's over there? We've got Cutthroat Comics saying, hope everyone's feeling better. Take two. Interestingly, we all live in different parts of the world, and we all fell sick on the same day.
If that's
All
the
of
God
it.
truth, yes, sir.
It was a computer virus, and we all got it. Tony Figs is also here saying, you can't talk Westerns without me. This is crazy. Well, here you are. You can absolutely hang out in the chat and talk Westerns with us. However, having said that, well, I'll be more than happy to do this again and again and again.
Well, I mean, we're just shooting the shit.
We are just shooting the shit. Shark Eyes. Oh, he wants to play too. We can all play. Retro Tinker. How are you, mate? Speaking of play, I almost bought that Western gun set with the hat and the mask. I was so close. Just it didn't fit. Phil's here. Howdy, cowboys and cowgals. I want to be a cowboy. Pericles, Dragon Ball Z. How are you, buddy? Ronnie Trickshot. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Hey, yo.
Oi, oi, oi.
Oi, thanks, guys. I'll be your Huckleberry. Thanks, mate. Mad Dog Dad. Nobody calls me Mad Dog. All right, you guys can do it. So I do want to preface this by saying, number one, I have had a chat with Ryan before on his channel, talking all about the Westerns that we enjoy. So the link to that is in the description. If you aren't already subscribed to Ryan, do it now. Do it now. You will not be disappointed. Check it out. And I also did a stream with Jonny Sorensen talking about Westerns too. Both links are in the description. Check them both out. Rob Vegas here with a yo, Joe, and a good day, everyone. How are you, bud?
Not Rob.
Oh, and Skyfall just dropped in. Get it? How are you? Good to see you, buddy. Now, I think that there are three types of Westerns, right? There are the classic Westerns, there are the spaghetti Westerns, and there are the modern Westerns. Am I missing anyone?
Sci-fi Western.
Yeah. Nice. We thought of that right at the same time. How are you, W Vogs, or is it W Vogs? 18, how are you, bud?
A lot of those old movie serials that came out in the 40s and the 50s that were science fiction were called sci-fi Westerns, or yeah, pretty much, because they had that same element that they would use in a Western.
Yeah, so that's and I guess Star Wars sort of fits in that category too, as a sort of a sci-fi western. Star Trek, not at all. That is just pure sci-fi.
Well, I
Um,
mean, there's a
The
few times where they beam down to the cowboy
Mandalorian.
planet.
I suppose, but that's a very specific. It's a very specific theme. Yo, yo, yo! Happy accident. Like I guess they. What about those ones where they go into? I remember seeing Star Trek: The Next Generation where they use the what's that room called that changes? Not the
Holodeck.
danger room. The holodeck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then it's Western specific.
Mm.
All
I
right,
wonder
so
if they ever put a black light to that holodeck, and I don't think they'd want to see what was left on the walls after Riker was in there.
Especially when we went to the jazz bar with that woman in red.
are you saying jazz?
The jazz bar.
Jazz bar. Okay, good. Dale, how are you, mate? They went to a cowboy time period. Yeah, like I know that they used it as a to mix up the theme of the show from every now and again. But I think it was less of a sci-fi western than.
Well, I mean, Bones. I forget the name of the actor. He was a big Western actor, wasn't he? He did a lot of
I
westerns.
believe it. What was his name again?
Kelly
Forrest
DeForest.
Whitaker.
Oh,
No, Kelly DeForest.
no.
I think it's Kelly.
Yeah.
DeForest.
Well, I knew it was a Forrest in there somewhere. Forrest Whitaker is that guy with the eye, right?
yeah.
Yeah, that's the guy who played. What's his name in Star Wars? The one-off. Right, Rogue. Was it Rogue One?
Rogue
Played
One,
that-
yeah.
He played that character
Yeah.
with that
I
false
knew
leg
there was
and
a Forrest in there
breather
somewhere.
apparatus. Yeah.
DeForest Kelly. Westworld, futuristic cowboy world. I love Westworld. The movie Westworld. I was getting into the series for a little bit. Did you guys watch the series?
Did not.
I watched the series up until they got out of Westworld, and then it was like, well, what am I watching this for now?
I think I saw Westworld 2 before I saw the first one. I was lost.
I don't think I've ever seen Westworld 2. How are you, Blues?
I
There's a
should look that up
Westworld
just in case I'm fibbing. Hold on.
That's
I know I
what
saw one because it referred back to Westworld, and I was like, I don't know what happened, so I stopped watching it and looked up the other one.
Does Westworld take place in the same universe as Jurassic Park?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Must do. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Right? I think I watched maybe one episode of that season, and I was like, nah, it's not Cowboys anymore. Great bloody series up until that point, though.
So the second one was called Future World.
Future World, okay.
Yeah, Future World. That was the second one. I saw that one.
Is
And
the
then I went
Cowboys
back.
still in it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I like the connection between Westworld and the Magnificent Seven.
Hmm.
No,
He's
the
wearing-
runner.
Yeah, but he's wearing the same outfit
Yeah.
as he did
All black.
in. Yeah. Great actor too. There are some actors.
Ever watch Deadwood?
Which one?
Deadwood?
Yes, I love Deadwood. I
Is that on
love it.
HBO? Is that on HBO?
Yes.
I saw it on.
That had that English actor. What's his name? The
Yeah.
guy from. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. He's in John Wick.
That English
That
guy. That English guy.
The English.
That guy. Yeah. What's his name?
Timothy Oliphant. That's where I really got to see that actor. And at first, I thought he was Michael Biehn, right? Because I thought he looked a lot like Michael Biehn from Tombstone. I was like, Michael Biehn?
What was
HBO.
what was Michael Bihn's character's name in Tombstone? Was it Ringo, right?
Yeah, it was
I think it
Johnny
was
Ringo.
Ringo?
Johnny Ringo.
Johnny Ringo? What was
Yeah,
John Wayne's character name in Stagecoach?
It
Isn't he a Ringo
was.
kid?
It was Ringo Kid. Yeah.
So is that the same guy?
Is it? Is
Is
it? I mean, is it? He grew up to become Johnny Ringo.
Yeah, I think it was one of those famous Western type names.
How are you, Stephen Sheets? Yeah, there was a lot of Ringos and Rangos, right? Ringos,
So
Rangos, Django.
Django. So we have
Were you thinking
three.
of Gazz? Was it Ian McShane you were trying to think of?
Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I know him from a motorcycle movie, some like Silver something. I know him from that movie, and there's a couple other movies, but yeah, that dude.
I love Deadwood. The Deadwood movie, I thought was a nice little way to cap it off, considering they got cancelled before they could do another season. So it was good to revisit those characters and see where they are. I mean, it's mind blowing that they were actually able to do it. Johnny Ringo. What a cool name, Johnny Ringo.
Ringo's a cool name. Yeah, it is.
You're lazy if you do.
So we have three major categories. I would say four. I say four because you have the Western comedy as well.
Yeah, true. But that's a parody. Okay, name 3 Western comedies.
Okay, The Shakiest Gun in the West.
Yeah.
Blazing Saddles.
That's a brilliant one. Yeah.
And is it the good? I think it's called The Good Guy. It's got Arnold Schwarzenegger as the hero, and I think it's Kirk Douglas as the bad guy.
I don't think I've seen that one. I was going to pull out The Three Amigos.
The Three Amigos, yeah.
There's another one that the guy who played Maverick. It was like
James Gardner.
Yeah, there was like something up for your sheriff. It was kind of like a tongue-in-cheek.
Support your local sheriff or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There was also there was one like The Fastest Gun in the West, I think it's called, and it had there's these 2 actors, they're Italian actors, and they made a series of movies like in the 70s and early 80s. They're just all comedies and stuff. Well, one of the guys, I forget his name, he made a movie called I think it's Super Fuzz with Ernest Borgnine.
Oh, yeah.
And if he sees the color red, he loses them. And he's a blonde, blue-eyed guy. He plays The Fastest Gun in the West. It's actually pretty funny. It's actually pretty good too.
You guys know the words to this song? Let's sing along. Ready? My little buttercup. Okay.
Nope. Sorry, Skyfall. Ain't happening.
Bible Goes West. There was a lot of sequels to animation that starts to go a little bit Western, like The Rescuers Down Under. It's got I know it's down under, but it's got a very Western feel to it, in my opinion. City Slickers, love that movie. This was not in the brochure.
Chuck Carter's the rifleman. My stuff on
can I see this then? To me, Crocodile Dundee was a Australian style Western.
Yeah.
You know, the Eastern or the United States. I mean, because at that beginning part with Mick going in, you know, the walkabout and all of that. I love that movie. It's such a great movie.
It's like the opposite of City Slickers, where they take him out of the outback and put him into the city.
You know who that was? That was Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, Clint Eastwood. Young Guns 1 and 2. Do we think that to me? I know that there were a few westerns that came out close to that time frame, but I consider that to be the beginning of the modern western, or the rock and roll western. That's
the rock and roll. Well, yeah. I would think so, but I mean, I don't want to call them rock and roll westerns because I mean the only other that I can think of is Wyatt Earp, Tombstone, and what was Silverado.
Silverado has one of the best openings of a western, and it's like a love letter to the old west.
That's a good one too. Quigley Down Under.
I keep thinking, right, that Quigley Down Under is a sequel to a movie called Quigley.
It would be, right? Quigley goes to Europe. Quigley goes to China.
I was like, I never watched Quigley Down Under until I was a little bit older because I was like, where's Quigley?
It's a great movie. That's a good movie. A classic Western style movie.
Kevin Costner in Silverado is just, you can't take your eyes off of him in that movie.
I mean, like him or not, Kevin Costner makes one hell of a movie. And I mean, we all have this love for Tombstone.
Yeah.
But Wyatt Earp is such a great movie in itself.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, have you, Gazz, did you manage to check it out yet? Learn some stuff?
I have not. I'm going to watch it. It's on my list. I've never seen this. I know, thanks to my buddy Zazel over here. I know that Robert Duvall's in this, and I love me some Robert Duvall. So I'm gonna check it out.
Star-studded cast. Have you seen it, Brian?
One of my favorite modern movies has him in it with Kevin Costner. Is it Open Range?
Open Range. Love that movie.
It's a great movie.
Have you seen Lonesome Dove, Ryan?
No. Oh God, yes.
So good.
Love Lonesome Dove.
There's a few sequels to it.
I was spoiled as, you know, the kids of my age, VCRs were released during that time, and my dad's dad loved the war movies, and then my mom's dad loved the westerns. So I got exposed to, you know, that's where my love for both come from. But Lonesome Dove, I mean, God, there's so many great westerns that we'd watch. I think it was TMC when that first came to cable, and you know,
we used to have a lot of them. Yeah, used to show a lot.
Yeah, it was all westerns, and damn, some of the best ones. Oh, John Wayne. It was oh, son of a gun.
I just saw Stagecoach for the first time. Like a couple weeks ago. Hey, Scuba.
When Doves Cry, is that the same? No, Lonesome Dove. Lonesome Dove is the precursor to When Doves Cry.
That would have been great if Prince actually made a Western. That would be cool. Rides in on his purple motorcycle.
Purple horse. Purple horse. Hey, can you guys remember your first Western that you saw, or at least have an idea of what may have been the first one?
I have an idea of my first. I can't say that it was, but my stepfather and his father, they used to like Westerns. And I remember as a little kid, when I first moved over here, I sat down in the living room with my grandfather at the time, because my mom was married to his son, and he was watching. I think might have been either Gunsmoke or The Rifleman on TV.
Oh yeah, nice.
So that was my first interest. But my first movie was definitely one of the Clint Eastwood ones. I can't narrow it down. I want to say it's High Plains Drifter. I think or maybe that one.
What about you, Ryan?
For me, it was the serial Western TV shows, The Rifleman, Stagecoach, Wagon Train, Bonanza was another big one.
Yeah, Bonanza.
But movies, I want to say it was John Wayne, and I think it was like Hondo or the Alamos. One of the ones that I remember seeing as a kid.
Well, for me, I think because Bonanza was on TV, so I know we were watching Bonanza a lot. And Gaz, did you end up checking out those Bonanza episodes that I sent you?
I have not yet. My apologies.
That's all right. I don't like doing homework either, so I'm not even there. But you'll love those eepisodes. And the episodes I was talking about, Ryan, were a couple of Bonanza episodes where they take place in single locations, like a stagecoach. They stop off at a station, and they're sort of stuck there. You know, the old motif of we got nowhere to go, and somebody among us is nefarious. So I'll get Gaz to forward those to you, because he might as well do something. And I think the first Western movie that I remember seeing was, and I believe it was on VHS, and I can't find a copy of it on DVD to save my life, was How the West Was Won.
Oh, such a great movie.
Oh, who's in that one? Who's in that one?
Everyone.
I'm trying to think if I've seen it. I may have seen that one.
Literally everyone that you can think of from those days of Westerns or movies was in it. So I know John Wayne's in it for a bit. You've got Jimmy Stewart's in it, and so forth and so on. Names escaping now.
Gregory Peck.
Yep.
Oh God, Robert Preston was in it. Debbie Reynolds.
Holy
God, there's just so many people in there. But Gregory, I mean, you think about it, you got James Stewart, John Wayne, and Gregory Peck, and Henry Fonda.
Yeah.
In 1952, they were all just amazing actors.
I wrote those two down. Right? Yeah.
How are you, Kiwi? Good to see you. Great video. Love the custom work you did on the Marauders barbecue. Check it out.
It reminds me of the great legends that make westerns. Henry Fonda, and he did that one with Chuck Bronson.
Oh yeah.
On His Time in the West, where he plays the bad guy. How about that? The only time he does. Great movie.
McClintock, great movie. McClintock's the one where he's like, the hell I won't, and then pow, clubs him, right? Is that McClintock?
Is it McClintock the one where no, it's not. Where John Wayne throws that kid in the river, like you're
That's
Hondo. That's Hondo. That's Hondo.
Yeah, that's
but
great.
I love that scene because that had been circling around social media for a while, and I forgot that it was Hondo, right? Because Hondo to me, because when you see that scene by itself, it looks like they're in a very luscious sort of green area, right? Because it's lots of trees and grass and stuff around in that lake. But Hondo always seemed like a desolate movie, with lots of mountain ranges and dirt and dust and all that cool stuff. So I was like, what movie is it? And it kept coming up with Hondo. I said, it can't be Hondo. It can't be. And then it was.
I don't know how to swim. Well, you're gonna learn.
Yeah. And then the mom is like, he doesn't know how to swim. I was like, well, go in there and get him. And she's like, I don't know how to swim. Oh boy. That's not a bad movie though. It's don't watch it with your folks, but it's not a bad movie.
One of the westerns I enjoyed of that I've seen of John Wayne's is the Man Who Shot Liberty Valance?
Yes.
That's a decent one. And it's like he's the hero in the movie, but spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen it. It's been a long time. But he's the hero and he ends up like losing everything at the end. Jimmy Stewart comes into town, takes his woman, gets the glory because everybody thinks that he shot the guy.
What's interesting about John Wayne? I'm drinking black coffee, by the way, in the theme of the old style Western stuff. It's not bad. The thing about John Wayne is that I like that he was able to gradually progress his persona, right? And so after a while, it wasn't just like the happy ending. Sometimes it was a little bit somber. Sometimes it was devastating. Like The Alamo. The Alamo was, I mean, how many movies, spoiler alert to decades-old movies, but how many movies were there before that when John Wayne didn't make it through? Not many. And then after that, there's quite a few.
I mean, like he comes off like most of the time he's the good guy, right?
Yeah.
He comes off he's the favorite person in there. But then somebody comes into the movie where he's not liked at all in the movie. Like the people don't like him, but he's the good guy.
Yeah.
That's also where the change happened for Westerns, at least here in the States, where it was always the good guys always end up winning, and it became a little bit more realistic.
Yeah.
And you had better writers and better cinematographers, and these movies were just amazing. It literally was, I think, part of the golden age of Hollywood. Because the set designers, where they were filming, it was just gorgeous.
How are you, Jeff? Jimmy Stewart, great actor, great Western actor. Some actors, I actually can't look past them being Western movie actors. John Wayne, I'm guilty of it with John Wayne, even though John Wayne did a lot of different movies like war movies and so on. I think of John Wayne as the hat on, slow walk, slow talk, Western cowboy of that era. I guess to a lesser extent, Clint Eastwood. I know that he's also done some great stuff outside of Westerns, but I always think of him as the man with no name. Bronson's probably the one where I think of him with a true duality of the Western star and that street thug level hard ass on the.
I only know of like two that he's been in is The Magnificent Seven and Once Upon a Time in the West, right? That's the only two that I know. I know he's been in more, but those are the only two that I know. Shane is a good one.
Shane is a good movie. I only just rewatched. No, sorry, go on.
No, I was gonna say with Charles Bronson, he also did a lot of the TV westerns and stuff. I mean, hell, Leonard Nimoy was in, I think, The Rifleman or something, in a couple of those too. So it's Captain Kirk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and some of those classic ones that inspired modern day movies, like, you know, you got The Hateful Eight, which is a great love letter to the westerns of old. But Old Yeller, I only just rewatched it. I watched it once as a kid. I went back and rewatched it because it was on Disney Plus. Would you consider that to be a western? I think that's set in the same time period. It's not really a shoot 'em up, but you know, it's like a.
I can't remember if I've seen that or not.
There's no cowboys in it, not really. But
yeah, I would say at that time period of the Western expansion in the U.S. that it does fit in there.
The frontier lifestyle.
Have you guys seen 1883 yet?
Is that the TV show on Paramount, right?
Oh yeah, I have.
I have not.
Is that the one with Harrison Ford in it?
It's the one before. It's with Tim McGraw, which I was like, oh, it's Tim McGraw. Holy smokes, he does a good job in that.
Yeah.
But it's
who was the mum in that one? Jewel? Was that her name?
It's Faith Hill. Yeah,
Faith Hill. What was I thinking of Jewel? Faith Hill.
1883.
The only thing, 1883, the only thing that I couldn't stand about that show, the only thing, everything else was perfect, right? Great Western, great action, great story. The one thing that I couldn't stand, and I hated it every time it happened, was when the girl cries, snot runs down her face every bloody time. She is
you know who else is in that? Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott is in that, and he is great in it. I don't know why I thought Jewel was in it. What's wrong with me? But yeah, that girl who does the voiceover in the next one with Harrison Ford, that ended a bit abruptly. Need more of that series, thanks.
Yes.
Yeah, she just snots it up. 1923. There we are.
And then are those two connected to the Yellowstone with they are, right? All right.
Yeah. I haven't really got into Yellowstone too much though.
I have a friend of mine who watched it. He says he loves it.
I'm still trying to finish Justified.
Yellowstone will. Do you remember Dallas?
Yeah.
It is a more adult Dallas.
Right.
It's freaking amazing. The characters, you hate the cast 1 minute, the next you're like you feel for them. I mean, it's the emotional roller coaster. It's just amazing, and they still have a ton of cowboy stuff in there.
Yes,
so it's pretty cool.
Nice.
Can I get everyone in the chat right now to please leave a like if you haven't already, and if you haven't already subscribed to Ryan, do that too. While we're sitting here chatting, pew pew pew, good old fashioned westerns. Pew pew. Angel and the Bad Man, Gazz. You watch that?
No, not yet.
Yep.
I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle of it. I started watching a different one before that.
So
I started that one, but I just backed out of it, and then when I put Amazon Prime back on to watch something else I saw out there, but then I saw another one that was recommended, so I started watching that.
This is a great movie too, The Revenant. So those old style westerns, I love them. There's a bunch of them, John Wayne ones on Paramount Plus. I think it was on Paramount Plus. But you can actually watch. Some of them are the exact same one, but they're called because they're all in public domain now. You can take them and you can just call them whatever you want, right? Yeah. So you can watch one and you go, oh, this is a different one, different name. You watch it, it's like it's the same one. And then when they colorize them, because they were originally black and white, so you can watch them in black and white, or you can watch them colorized. But they colorize them differently too. So you can watch the same movie with John Wayne with a yellow shirt. You can watch the same movie with John Wayne with a red shirt.
Well, I think Angel and the Bad Man is the one that I started watching, and it was colorized. So
Right.
maybe I backed out of it to try to find the black and white one because it was annoying me. Because it would be
Yeah.
all colored, and when they moved, the color was like fading, and then
Yeah,
like
yeah.
in between the horse's legs was still black and white. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like the background's still black and white, and it's just freaking me out. But one
I
thing I
wanna-
want to comment on John Wayne. That guy was a big guy.
He
He's
was
tall, right?
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever notice that like his gun belt was like always like around his like it seemed like it was around his thigh, and his gun was always hanging off like the backside. In most scenes, like instead of being like attached to the side or like down on his like thigh with the rope tying around, you know, to keep it on his thigh, it's always like hanging off the back.
They always keep it low. Yeah.
Yeah. I always thought that I was kind of weird. I was like, yeah, it's kind of weird why he wears his belt, and then you realize how big he is. And
So
he's a little shooter. Like you see Clint Eastwood, he's got this like massive cannon, and then John Wayne's just using a little 6-shooter.
Do you notice that he rolls up his pants to be almost above the boot?
Really?
Yeah. So it makes him look even taller, I reckon. I found there's this. I'm trying to find. I know I recorded it off the TV. If I can find it, I'll show it because there's this interesting back in those olden style ones. There's this black and white one with John Wayne, and he does the most unreal fire straight off the hip and shoots someone off the roof. But it looks so. I mean, it's so campy, but it's so good. If I can find it, I'll play it. But definitely check out those black and white ones. I'll keep looking. I'll keep scrolling.
Those movies, those guys could shoot like crazy, huh? Right off the hip. Pew pew pew.
Size 8 boot. How are you, Planet Decepticonicus? There we are, hitting us up with some John Wayne knowledge. He had tiny feet, size 8. Crash is in the house. How are you, Crash? I'm hoping to do a show with. Happy birthday to Crash, by the way. He had a birthday very recently. Yeah, he turned 21.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm hoping to do a show with Crash called Crash and Burn. Do you know John Wayne was also in Beverly Hillbillies?
Yes.
Did you an appearance on Beverly Hills?
Yeah.
He did.
I made an appearance there. I need to find this.
God, I didn't know that. Did you know that James Arness was 6'7", and then the guy from Rifleman was like 6'6"? That's
Okay.
crazy.
O'Connor's? Yeah, they're pretty tall guys.
And then John Wayne was
It was what? Sorry,
6'4".
6'4".
Yeah.
Big guys.
Roughest looking 21-year-old. Rough and tumble, maybe. If I can find that video, man, it was hilarious. I'll find it later. But yeah, he just
What's the one Western that you guys can watch over and over and over and never gets old?
other than Young Guns and Young Guns 2, those two, it's just I can't get enough of those two. But Stagecoach is one that I always revisit. If I don't, thanks Scuba Pete, throwing that link in there for me. If I've missed any others, let me know. I got distracted. Stagecoach for me, definitely, and Young Guns. What about you, Gaz?
Yeah, I'm gonna go The Legend of the Lone Ranger from 1981. That's my favorite. Love that movie.
How we didn't even talk about Lone Ranger movies?
Lone Ranger's fun.
Yeah. So Gaz turned me on to revisiting those. Well, revisiting. I never did it as a kid because I weren't out as a kid. But looking up and finding the old radio serials, and not just the Western ones. I've actually started looking at the old crime ones, and just going through. I think there was a space one, but they're all there's no visuals, and they keep you enthralled with just the dialogue and some sound effects. Like the sound effects are minimal, but they use them to perfect effect when they do use them. So thanks for that, Gaz. But
I like the old crime. The crime ones are great. The old like 40s style detective, the noir style, like Jonny.
Yeah.
The guy works for a insurance company out of Rhode Island, and he goes around the country and he investigates like murders and stuff for the insurance company, and he actually solves the murders. It's hilarious. And they do it in that
Oh.
style, that like Bogart style. It's great.
Yeah, I love it. I love that stuff. So what we're talking about, we're going to talk about Lone Ranger.
Yeah.
Classic Lone Ranger. Did they not do a crossover with Batman?
I don't know. No, they did. Well, all right. So you got the Lone Ranger, and you have the Green Hornet. The Green Hornet is a descendant of the Lone Ranger, and I think they did a crossover. Well, they appeared in a Batman episode. They popped their heads out of the hotel while they were walking up the side of the building, I think.
Right. That's definitely what I was thinking of.
Yeah. But yeah,
Super.
The Lone Ranger is a great series. Those old TV shows were great.
Yeah. Oh, I found the video.
I didn't even know about the radio shows until that channel started. Did a collabor. Put them all together.
All right, I'm going to solo me for a second. Sorry for everyone that has to see this, but I'm going to solo myself for a second. Whoop. All right, I'm going to try this. This here is the scene I was talking about, right? That's John Wayne. For a bit of context, there's actually a person on the roof, right? And he's about to pull his gun just out of his holster. Are we ready for this?
Go.
Got him. Look at that. Ciao.
It's like he pulled the trigger before he pulled it out of the holster, right?
It doesn't look like he's shooting at his boot first.
Because if you look at it, the smoke is point. Yeah, he's like shot the road. Oh, that's hilarious! I love it.
I just love that. I rewound that scene so many times just to rewatch. It's like, where is he aiming? But I thought it was.
Go ahead.
But then I was like, there's no way I can't now just record this on my phone and have it. And I need it. It's too good.
So there, about a lot of the older westerns, they don't show a lot of like blood. You see the guys go down and there's not a lot of blood. Like
they didn't need it. They didn't need it. There was a good comment recently. I think Adam from Go Figure said that the getting shot by a laser isn't the same, like in those old sci-fi movies, isn't the same as when they did it in the Old West. And you didn't need blood squibs or nothing. You just had to have the smoke off the gun and and that was it. That's all you needed. That's all you had to have. And then things got gory. Must have been a ricochet.
That said though, when they did use it, it was like a powerful like visual when they showed it. And I'm going to refer to the man who shot Liberty Valance when Liberty Valance shoots Jimmy Stewart in the arm. And he goes and he grabs his arm like this, and then you just see the blood trickle down from his elbow under his shirt. And it's like a powerful visual because it's like, whoa, wow, right? But then when Liberty gets shot, it's like nothing. He just Lee Marvin does this like spin, falls down in the road.
Yeah, because I think by that point they were sort of they were using it more for the story, the effect of the story is like because when you do see the slow bleed or the stomach wound or that arm shot, that's part of the story. It's not just gratuitous blood splatter, which I do appreciate though in like Quentin Tarantino's westerns. That's fine. I like them there, but you don't necessarily need it. I'm a cowboy, baby.
They may not have been able to actually show it either because of the standards of what you could or couldn't have on film.
Very true. Very true.
Are there any westerns that we just don't like? What's one western you're like, I'm out? It's tough, right? It's tough.
Yeah. Well, all right. Look, I'll be honest with you. Again, Kevin Costner, great filmmaker, great movies, but sometimes they're just too long.
Yeah.
And even though this is a great movie, I wouldn't just sit there and go, all right, I'm gonna go watch this movie right now. I'm gonna say Dances with Wolves. Like I like the movie, but it's not one that I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna go watch that right now. I'd rather watch like Tombstone or watch like Wyatt Earp.
My
I know,
mum
Ryan. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Grave, Gaz.
It's
That was
just
my
a
mum's
long movie.
absolute favorite Western. She loved
even-
that.
Even Wyatt Earp is just a long movie.
Open
Like,
Range is a long one too.
Yeah, you just wanted to jump to the
Yeah.
credits, right? You want to fast forward.
Movies like Ben-Hur and some of those golden age Hollywood, you'd have an intermission because they were so freaking long.
Right. Yes.
One of my
yes.
favorite movies. One of my favorite movies is the first time I've ever seen an intermission in a movie. Is Grand Prix. You seen that movie with James Gardner?
Yeah.
And it starts off with this overture, and then has that pause in the middle. You're like, what's going on? Is it over?
I think
'cause you had the intermission. Not only did they have to
Nancy
change
Falls-
the reel, but it let people go to the bathroom.
yeah.
Yeah.
I remember a few of those movies very, very early in the 80s that we had to stop and come back. But then they stopped doing it. But Dances with Wolves, I believe, Mum had a VHS copy that was 2 VHSs.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
Mrs. Zazel, I apologize.
But she loved that movie. But the problem...
Uh-oh.
He froze.
See, his mom's coming back. Bad mouth.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mrs. Phoenix. I apologize.
You know which one I couldn't stand is Legends
What happened?
of the Fall.
What happened? Mum disrupted the stream.
Bro,
Yeah, I apologize. I took it back. I love Dances with Wolves. I watch it any day of the week, any time of the week. Chris, I'm gonna watch it after the stream's over. Actually,
All right, what's our opinion on Bone Tomahawk? We've got 1 for and 1 against.
Oh, I like Bone Tomahawk.
Yeah, I
I
thought it
like
was
that.
great.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Yes,
Have you
he
seen
was
it?
super
Yes.
dumb, but that's what made
I
it
don't think
great.
so. I'm gonna look it up right now.
It is a great movie. Another one with
Wait, is that Kurt Russell?
Kurt Russell. Yes.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
going on my watch list.
Nice comeback,
It's a
guys.
Quentin Tarantino style Western, so it's gory as all get out.
Yeah.
But
Who directs it? Who directs that movie?
Oh, I'm gonna.
What are you looking at?
I just went to 1883. I don't know why. Hold on. Bone Tomahawk. There it is. Hey, 2015 film.
Hmm.
Craig
Agreed.
Zahler.
I agree with you,
Crazy.
Adam. Sarge would have been a great cowboy.
Imagine him riding with John Wayne and Clint Eastwood.
There's nothing the Sarge can't do. So who directed it? Did we figure that out?
Craig Zahler.
F.
G-
Craig
Zahler, right?
Zahler.
Yeah, that's going on
He wrote
my
it.
watch list.
That is getting ever long.
2 hours and
I'm
13
genuinely
minutes.
serious. He could do it now. Dust Till Dawn 3 was the worst Western ever. Did you guys ever watch Tremors?
I love Tremors.
Oh God.
Did you ever see the sequel that was set like a prequel and there was like Western
Oh,
times?
That's right. There's like 3 or 4, right?
There's
There's 6 of them, right? Hold on, I got the collection right here. Hold on.
Excellent. Go grab it. Tremors is a great movie. But they're called graboids, guys. Stop calling them Tremors. Yeah. 7 movies. 7.
Good gravy.
Oh,
They
yeah.
got 7 movies out of that.
Yeah, they did. They milked this
The
thing.
first
every
3 are
day.
pretty good, though. I like the first 3. The Western one, I think, possibly must be number 4.
I was always holding out for Kevin Bacon to come back.
Yeah, that one guy from Family Ties, the dad, he comes back every time.
Michael Gross.
Every time.
Yeah,
Michael Gross.
he grabbed onto that
Check
and
out
ran with
some of the Trace Adkin movies. You might like them. All right. If they get your recommendation, I'll definitely check them out. Bert is the best. Yeah, he is. Yeah, I can't really think of any that I don't like. I like Dances with Wolves. But like I was trying to say before, is that mum, because it was her favorite movie, and it's a great movie, but she would watch it all the time. And so it was always on. And so if I watch even 20 minutes of it now, I'm like, okay, well, I know how this is all going to go now. So I'm good. I've satiated my need to watch it. But same with Legends of the Fall. She loved that movie too.
Hate that movie. I absolutely.
Is that the Brad Pitt one?
I should say it. Brad Pitt just really. I'm just like, no, I can't.
He doesn't like Brad Pitt.
All right, we found one. What about The Quick and the Dead?
Oh, I love The Quick and the Dead.
There was
Good
what
one,
was
that's a
that
good
one
one.
that was from the 90s where it was like an all-female cast? I think maybe Drew Barrymore was in it.
Oh, Lauren Baracco was in it too. Son of a gun.
I'm gonna look it up.
Mm. Bad Girls. Thanks,
Yeah.
Crash.
Man, why is Crash not here? He's
Yeah.
got all the answers.
Yeah, Jeff Butler coming back in with Bad Girls. Cutthroat Comics. Everyone knows Bad Girls. What you gonna do?
Well, that was done after Young Guns, right?
Oh yeah.
Just after Young Guns.
All right, we found one that I can't handle. Wild Wild West.
Wild West. There we go. That's it.
Yeah, get
No,
out of
and
here.
I can't. No. I'm going to say this about that. I don't count that. I don't count that at all because that was a TV show that was way better, and that's your sci-fi western right there. If there was one, it was the Wild Wild West. But no, I can't count that.
What about-
I mean, the Spider, no.
What about Maverick? The movie or the show?
I think the movie was good. I kind of like Mel Gibson's acting, and he's pretty good. At least that's like his prime.
That's top tier Mel Gibson.
It's in his prime.
You got Maverick. You've got Lethal Weapon. I think that's where he's really come into his like his comfort, right? As far as acting is concerned, he's really relaxed into it. He's giving all his best. But yeah, Maverick, great movie.
I prefer the TV show. I think James Gardner did it better. Just because of
great. Yeah.
He just had that smart ass kind of just charm. I mean, he was in Rockford Files. I mean, he was great in that, but it was effortless with Gardner just watching him sometimes.
Let's get that movie actor quality in a TV show, which you're starting to see now with a lot of these guys doing TV shows. But like then, it was like unheard of for like a big movie star to make a TV show.
Yeah,
because you think James Gardner's been in a ton of movies, and then he shows up in Rockford Files. He shows up in the Maverick TV show. It's like, whoa, it's unheard of. Like back in the day, it was like unheard of for like to see like John Wayne in an ad. That's like, it was like, whoa, no, you can't have John Wayne doing that, even though he's done some. Yeah, but we see that now.
Sorry, guys.
No, you see it now more. But 310.
So Jeff is asking if we have a preference. 310 to Yuma films, the classic or the remake?
I haven't seen the remake.
So the remake was with Christian Bale and
Russell Crowe, right?
Russell Crowe. Yeah. It's not bad, but I feel like there's I can't remember the actor's name. He played Angel in X-Men, and he was in Punisher. I know that much. He's in that movie, but that guy. No offense to that guy. If he's watching right now, no offense, but he's so annoying. He's so annoying in 310 to Yuma that it's unfortunate.
I have a disdain for Christian Bale. I just don't like him too much, especially after the Batman movies. I'm just like, oh god.
What about you, Ryan? Have you got a preference out of the two? Which one?
I prefer the original.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not knocking the remake of it because I think they did have some great actors. Oh, you're talking Ben Foster, but the original was just. It was cheesier, yes, but there's just something, that magical Western feel that you got.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. You can give a bad Western a pass because it still has that Western feel. It makes you feel that that sense of adventure, and
I'll say it's got the Hollywood feel to it, which I think movies are kind of lacking in today's standard. That like mystique, the grandeur, the grandeur of the epic, trying to make an epic film. Now everybody's just trying to make an epic film. These movies were made. How many westerns were being pumped out of Hollywood in those days? It's like there's Western after Western after Western after Western, And now, in how many of them become like epic films in movie history because they're just so good, right? And now you're just trying to recapture that by doing a remake of it, or trying to recapture by saying we're making this epic 2-hour, 3-hour long Western or whatever movie with these big actors, and like it's almost has to be an instant epic, and it usually isn't. Sometimes it's bad.
So,
Sorry.
am I the only one that looks at this and thinks of Stand By Me?
Have Gunwood Travel?
I've
You know,
watched it a few times.
Yeah, me too. I haven't gotten wicked into it, but it seemed pretty decent.
I only went and checked out Have Gun Will Travel because I was watching Stand By Me, one of the movies me and Mum used to watch a lot of the time too. And I was like, what are they singing? Because it was a show. And so I had to go and look at the show. But when they're walking down the train tracks and they're singing Have Gun Will Travel, the Three Amigos, we did bring up the Three Amigos earlier, one of my favorite comedies of all time. I did try to get us all to sing My Little Buttercup. My Little Buttercup. Nobody jumped in.
Would you say I have a plethora? Yes, I do.
My favorite line is, I think that's a mail plane. Man.
Those guys are dusty.
Dusty Bottoms, Ned Nederlander, and Lucky Day.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. We haven't said that one. Another great.
That's
one.
a great one. And I found out. Go ahead.
That is one of the movies that I've only seen once or twice. And actually, now that I think about it, I thought of a John Wayne Western that I couldn't watch all the way through, and it just hit me. And I think it's called. I think it's called. Who shot Billy the Kid again?
Pat Garrett.
Pat Garrett. I think it's called Garrett or Pat Garrett. A John Wayne movie about him as Pat Garrett, I believe. I got partway through it and I was like, I can't watch this. John Wayne, Pat Garrett. Did he play Pat Garrett? I believe he did. Oh, it's called Chisholm. Sorry, he didn't play Pat Garrett. He played Chisholm, John Chisholm. But it's still set in that whole Billy the Kid sort of time frame. Forrest Tucker, Christopher George, Ben Johnson.
Colbert played Pat Garrett in that.
Pat Garrett, right? He played Chisholm. He played John Chisholm. I got partway through it and I just couldn't. I couldn't finish it. I don't know. Yeah, the fact that I couldn't even remember the name of the movie. Yeah. G.I. Joe: The Lost Chronicles. Hi-yo from Arizona. Rio Lobo. Classic. Yeah, it is a classic. Yeah. Someone.
The villain. That's what it's called. I said the hero. It's the villain. Yeah. That's a funny movie.
They killed the invisible dude. Pericles is saying one of my favorite old westerns is 100 Rifles, starring Jim Brown, Raquel Welch, and Burt Reynolds. I don't know if I've seen that one.
Oh
is
man,
is that the one where she rides around just wearing the what do you call it? It's the thing that Clint Eastwood always wore. That like. Wow.
Nobody calls me Mad Dog.
That like jacket thing that he wears. It's not really a jacket. It's like the Mexican dudes. What was the Mexican guys always had them on? What do you call those?
The poncho.
The poncho, yeah. She has like a poncho on. She has like a gun belt.
Okay. Poncho, that's it. Poncho.
Poncho.
We were talking. We were almost going to talk about Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, and then I steamrolled us off of that. Sorry, guys. Let's get back into it.
That's a pretty decent movie. I've only seen it like once or twice.
I've seen it 2 times, max. It's not a bad movie. I will actually go back and rewatch it now that we've spoken about it, because I need to give it a rewatch. The first time I watched it with Mum. Second time I watched it in probably my 20s. So I need to go back. To it.
I absolutely love the Man with No Name trilogy. People call it the trilogy. What is it? Fistful of Dollars. Fistful, A Few More Dollars, and then The Good, Bad, and the Ugly. The only problem I have is the first two movies get mushed up in my head. Like,
Yes.
you know what I mean? Because they're basically the same movie.
Right? I think
same
one of them
movie.
he actually has a name.
Yeah, they're like the one of them. They do say his name. I believe so, or it's a fake name he gives.
So I literally cannot remember. I remember which one's the good, the bad, and the ugly, but I can't remember which one is Fistful of Dollars.
Like, he
And
just rides into this random town, and he works
Right.
for one side, and he works for the other side, and then he puts them together. Like it's like
it's such a great Western trope though, and they revisit that trope in Red Dead Redemption.
yeah.
And
There's also a remake of that, I want to say, done by Bruce Willis, and it's done like in the 20s gangster era. I
okay.
forget the name
We're
of
playing
it.
both sides.
Yeah, he plays both sides, and he's like a mob guy. I'll come up with it. Hold on.
Oh, here we go. Jeff coming in. He's called Joe, the Munko, then Blondie. Blondie wasn't. Who was that? Who was that cowboy star? Blonde hair, blue eyes, like striking blue eyes, and he drags a coffin around with him, and inside the coffin is like a Gatling gun.
Like, I sound so familiar. Like, I should know this. I'm going to look that up. Hold on. I'm looking up this Bruce Willis movie.
Because I thought his name was Blondie.
I think they just what's his name? Tuco calls him Blondie in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Last Man Standing.
That's it. Last Man Standing. Thank you. Thank you,
Also
Shark.
has and Bruce Dern in it. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good movie. If you haven't seen that, that's a decent movie.
Yeah, Last Man Standing. Trinity. That's who I'm thinking of. Thank you. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure he has the coffin with the thingy with the Gatling gun in it. So cool.
Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, Terrence Hill. That's one of the guys. That's one of those are the two guys I was talking about. The two comedian guys, Terrence Hill and Bud Spencer. Terrence Hill plays Superfuzz. He does. Oh my God, what's the name? I gotta find out the name of that movie. It's a comedy. I want to say it's The Fastest Gun in the West.
Oh, there you go. Looked it up. The movie had a Gatling gun in a coffin. Was the original Django. There you go. Maybe I'm mixing up the two. But Django, the original Django, was pretty cool. The actor is Terrence Hill.
He's an Italian actor. Yeah, there he is. Trinity. I think he did a couple of them, right? Because there's another one called Trinity Is Still My Name.
Yeah.
My Name Is Nobody. He's a few of them.
Yeah, and he's so laid back. It's a great series of movies. He's so laid back in it because it's like the man with the harmonica in Once Upon a Time in the West, where he's just so laid back that you know that this guy's going to be good.
Oh, there it is. This is the one I'm talking about right here.
Oh, let me solo you.
The Man from the East. That one right there.
That's the one with
That's him.
Knot or something.
I'm sorry. No. This is a Terrence Hill movie. Terrence Hill and Bud Spencer. If anybody's never seen like these two guys together in a movie again, they're hilarious. And it's like some slapstick comedy, a lot of fighting and stuff like that. And they're funny movies. They're just funny.
You've sold me on it. I'm going to definitely go and check that one out. It doesn't ring a bell, but sometimes I'll sit down and start watching a movie and go, "Oh man, I have seen this. This is great." Oh, here we go. We got a trivia question from G.I. Joe: The Lost Chronicles. How many movies has Clint Eastwood died in? Are we just talking westerns or movies in general? I don't know the answer, but if we're going to go movies in general, I want to say 1.
I can only think of one that he died, but he came back.
Oh, which one was that?
Well, 2, right? Because isn't it Hang 'em High, where he gets hung and they pull him down? He's almost dead.
Right.
He becomes like a sheriff or something like that, and he goes around shooting guys. And then the other one is, I want to say it's High Plains Drifter, because he's supposed to be like a ghost of vengeance in that, isn't he? Rides into town that like killed him, and he kills them all.
I was thinking, is he a ghost in High Plains Drifter though?
High Plains Drifter, yeah.
There's
Yes,
3. Okay, can you Cutthroat also says 3. Can we get the names of the movies, please? Spoiler alert. I know that there was a modern one that he did where I think he dies. In the one where he's maybe. How are you, Nodsy? I'm thinking of the one where he directed it and he was older and he was like in suburbia, and I think he pulls out his hand.
Isn't it Pale Rider? At the end, he gets shot and he like rides off. I need to watch that again. I haven't seen that in a while.
Pale Rider may be a ghost. Okay. All right, here we are. Well, I know this one. It was also mentioned earlier, but you guys know this answer, right?
Yeah, it's Young Guns.
Young Guns. And in Young Guns 2, there was a cameo by Bon Jovi.
Yeah, I know that. I didn't know what scene was he in that. I'm trying to think.
He rode in a motorcycle with Richie Sambora shooting the guitar machine gun.
Yeah.
That's a Young Guns I want to see. That's Young Guns 3, right?
Yeah. I hope they do Young Guns 3. I know that they're talking about it. But
Yeah,
Tom Cruise, he gets shot in that final shootout of Young Guns 1. You just see him go.
All right. He's another guy. He's great movies.
Oh, here we are. So Bridges of Madison County, Gran Torino, which is the one I was thinking of, and The Blind. Guys,
I don't count Bridges of Madison County. That's like he's in was it Fried Green Tomatoes? I just can't count that one.
Okay.
That's not finished with me.
I need help from the chat, and I need help from you guys. This movie, I think it's a war movie. I can't remember who's in it, but I remember one scene, and I was a kid, so maybe I'm misremembering the scene, right? But the scene that I recall, nice, good stuff. The scene that I recall in this war movie is they're trying to cross a bridge, right? This group of people are trying to cross a bridge, and then they have to blow it up, and then again, maybe you're misremembering it because I was a child, but for some reason one of the guys has to try and hold the pillar of this bridge, right, wooden bridge, try to hold it so that people can get across, and then it slips and lands on him, like it slips off him and crushes him under it, and then everyone else has to go and leave him because he's pinned, right, he's dying, but his friend won't leave him and stays behind with him. I don't know. Is there a person that gets crushed by a bridge?
Is that a bridge too far?
Is it a bridge too far?
They built is no, that's not that's a bridge over River Cry. Is that the one where they're like
Bridge over
River? That's the one where Obi-Wan Kenobi doesn't want to blow up the bridge that he built.
Right, but I tried watching that movie to see if it was that, and I don't think it is that one. But there was I think he was a African American man that's crushed by the
a bridge too far is that's a World War II movie where they're holding that town and they're trying to stop the German military from coming over, and they're having a fight, and the Germans always kind of get almost halfway and then they get pushed back. That wasn't like a little bridge where a guy would have to hold a pillar to get everybody out.
My Little Buttercup. How are you, Jimbo? I'm going to try and get everyone to sing My Little Buttercup, but nobody's doing it. Posse. I don't know if I've seen Posse. I'll check that out. Django Unchained before Django Unchained. Okay, I'll check it out.
I've seen that one. That was an HBO movie.
The Bridge of the River. If it's got somebody that gets the Guns of Navajo, that's Mum definitely.
What was that one? The bridge over the river. That wasn't it. That was
River Kwai. KWAI.
No, it wasn't that one, was it?
Anyway, this guy gets. It's a beautiful moment, and I wish I knew which movie it was. A beautiful moment because he's like, this guy is pinned, cannot leave. He's probably dead anyway, but his buddy stays behind with him, and it just is. Even though the baddies are coming on, the baddies, pew pew, the baddies. The Bridge on the River. Does that have that scene in it? Let me know.
Are you thinking of the Dirty Dozen?
I mean, maybe.
Because that had Jim Brown in it.
Right. Dirty Dozen.
I don't remember them. Maybe they did try to blow up.
You get trapped on a bridge.
I thought he died, because he did that run along the bunker's air vents and throwing grenades down each thing. I thought he got shot while doing that, didn't he?
maybe that's like I'm saying though, right? As that I may be just misremembering what I saw as a kid, right? Maybe that didn't actually happen. Maybe he didn't like try and stop a bridge from collapsing with his bare hand, right? That doesn't seem like a very logical thing, right? That might be misremembering, but I do remember someone at least injured or pinned or can't move or whatever, and his friend staying with him, which, you know, who knows? I hope I can figure it out before my days are done. The bridge depicted in the film is most definitely real. In fact, there were two, one of wooden railway bridge and the other of a ferro concrete structure built using imported bridge sections from the Japanese. Okay, well, I'll check it out. You know, I'm always willing to watch new movies or revisit ones that I hadn't seen in a while.
So another one of my favorite, I guess we can say favorite Westerns, and one of my favorite actors,
Yes,
Steve McQueen, right?
yes.
Love Le Mans. I love Bullet. Two of my favorite movies. And The Hunter, where he plays that bounty hunter guy, but one is like his last Western, I think it was in around 1980, was called Tom Horn, where it's like Tom Horn. It's like the end of the cowboy or the West era, and these ranchers or this rancher hires Tom Horn to come into his town, because he has some rustlers stealing stuff, so he hires them to go get him, and he does it, and he kills a couple of them. I think he kills a couple of them, but then they arrest him and throw him in jail because of murder, even though he was paid to do that. And the whole movie, he's sitting in jail, and he just wants to go because he wants to go right off, because that's what he wants to do. It's such a great film. If you haven't seen it, it's pretty good.
The end of the Western era.
I think it's around the end of the Western era, because he's like the last of the gunslingers or whatever.
I don't think that's it, Todd. I don't think that was it. Yeah, Tom Horn getting some love. Yeah, Magnificent Seven, great movie. The sequel was okay.
They did a whole mess of sequels for that.
Yeah, I know. Like the first sequel was okay, and then after that, it's sort of like diminishing returns.
It just kept going and going.
Yeah.
Rawhide. Hit him up, move him out. Rawhide.
The Shootist. That I actually put The Shootist. If I picked 3 John Wayne westerns to see when I was on Johnny Sorensen's show, and The Shootist was on the list of ones to watch for an older John Wayne. I think I had Stagecoach, I had Hondo, and I had The Shootist. So if you're going to watch one from when he's young, mid-age, and old, those 3 you can't go wrong. You say that you can't imagine him outside of a Western, right? Which I can't either, because I was just thinking. I remember watching the one where he plays the detective, like the police detective, and he goes to England to get somebody, and all I could just see him is as like a gunfighter just walking into town. It's like that's Ringo. That's Ringo the Kid right there. Yeah.
It's just an older one.
Even in The Shootist was his last movie. Yeah. So even was The Shootist the last? I thought Cowboys was after. Was Cowboys before The Shootist?
I thought Shootist was his last one.
Yeah. Cowboys is a great movie too, though. Yeah, final film. Yeah. Great movie. And the weird thing about that movie is that it's got Ron Howard in it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's like transitioning into the new era of TV and movies, because you've got the old vanguard of Jimmy Stewart and John Wayne, and then you've got this young and who's still around with us today, Ron Howard.
I remember you saying in our chat that you'd wish that he and Clint Eastwood had done a movie together. Yeah, that would have been something. That would have been something cool.
So I think originally, I think they tried. I think Clint Eastwood tried, and John Wayne was having none of it, which is a shame. But I guess those two genres didn't really mix. But here's some trivia for you. Did you know that in True Grit, it was originally supposed to star Elvis Presley?
Really?
With John Wayne.
Oh, with John Wayne.
Yeah, so John Wayne.
Was he
is
supposed to be the Texas Ranger guy?
Well, yeah. What was that guy's name again?
I forget his name. I'm like, I can totally see it. I can totally see that being Elvis.
Yeah, that was supposed to be Elvis.
Hey, what's up? I'm Uncle Bertie Love. I'm here to get my man.
I'm all shot up.
Hey, pass me the mashed potato soup. Hey, no. Speaking of Elvis, he's done a few good ones himself.
Yeah, I'm a guilty pleasure. Elvis Presley movies are a guilty pleasure. True Grit. I still haven't seen the sequel to True Grit. That's on my to-do list.
There was a sequel?
Yeah. It was. I think it was just called Rooster Cogbone, right?
I'm gonna have to check that out because I like that character.
Yeah, and I think possibly his only sequel that he ever did, as far as I'm aware. Westerns, at least. I don't know about.
What was the one he did with Dean Martin?
Was that not Rio Lobo? Or
no, I think that's the sons of what's her name?
Katie Elder.
Yeah, isn't that it? Yeah, they're like somebody shoots her and they come into town to figure out what's going on.
I'll look it up. That's why Google's a thing. Dean Martin.
That was a good one too.
I like the one he did with Kirk Douglas. Rio Bravo, he definitely did with. Who was in Rio Bravo? Dean Martin was the dude.
When you get Dean Martin singing.
Yeah,
oh,
it's coming up as Rio Bravo.
Katie Elder too.
Oh, there we are. Rio Bravo and the Sons of Katie Elder. Perfect. Yeah. Good stuff.
That's a good film.
So I think they originally wanted John Wayne for Gunsmoke, right?
The TV show?
Yeah, and then who did play the main character in Gunsmoke?
James Arness.
Right, and I think that John Wayne put him up and said you should do this guy instead. And John Wayne does the opening monologue for the series, talking it up.
Wait, I gotta connect this to our chat.
I love Gunsmoke. One of the most underrated Western shows out there. They were on for 20 seasons.
Yeah. Definitely a cool one, cool series. I like to, and it's one of those ones that you can just jump in at any time. Brilliant movie. Remake is good for True Grit. The remake is good, but I still like the John Wayne one. Let's fill your hands. Which was one?
So
Bandolero.
Just so that I can connect Megaforce to our chat, Hal Needham, the director of Megaforce, was a stuntman for John Wayne.
Is
in
that
a lot of
right?
his movies. Yes. Just
That's
so that
pretty.
Megaforce.
I believe that there is also one of the stuntmen for The Mandalorian is a descendant of John Wayne.
Oh, really?
His grandson or something.
Oh, that's right. He does play a part in The Mandalorian.
He plays Mando in the helmet.
Oh, is it? Oh,
yeah. When the helmet's on, that's him. He's the guy. It's very rarely. What's his name? The actor.
Pedro Pasquale.
Yeah, Pasquale. So here's a funny story. Todd remembers me filming a Western horror back in the day. I did. So me and my buddies, we got a bunch of. I used to have a replica Winchester rifle. And my buddy had a replica 6-shooters, and so what we did is there was a town just outside of where we lived that had an old railway station, and it had old railway engines and so forth just parked there to go and look at. And we were filming out in the outback for a while, filming out in the bush, and we're like, we should film something there, right? So they're like, yeah, that'd be a good little thing to film. We're going to walk along the train tracks and film some of the trains. Like, they don't move, but, still cool to have, some shot. So we roll in. We park the car in the parking spot, open up the boot, which is the back of the car for you that don't live in Australia. We open up the trunk. We open up the trunk, and we start pulling out all these guns, right? So I pull out a rifle. My buddy picks up his 6-shooters, and we start walking in. and we're filming for about 10 minutes before the cops show up. Because there was a lady and her husband in a caravan across the way that saw a couple of kids in their 20s pulling out guns from the back of their car. Any reason to sneak in Megaforce is okay with me. Here we are. Gaz, do you have the Hal Needham stuntman action figure and playset?
Is there one?
Is there one?
If there is, it's instantly on my grill list.
So where are we up to as far as we've talked a bit about classic westerns? We talked a little bit about the golden age of westerns and the spaghetti westerns. But where are we sitting in the modern westerns? What are the standout?
Well, obviously, Tombstone and Wyatt Earp for me.
Well, I don't consider them to be modern westerns. I'd consider them to be callbacks, right? Yeah, callbacks to the classic era, like an homage, like true Western style. That is true Western style. Like I would consider them not to be.
Well, Silverado would be the same thing then, right?
I'd put Silverado in.
All right.
Yeah. I would say a modern Western would be Young Guns 2, because it's stylized,
Hateful Eight.
Hateful, yeah.
Hateful Eight.
Yep.
Yeah, but you don't consider those to be callbacks?
Like I don't think so. Not as much as I think they're love letters in some of them. But I think Wyatt Earp is a traditional style Western that was filmed in our lifetime, sure. But I don't look at, and that's the beauty of Tombstone, right? The beauty of Tombstone is that it doesn't watch like it's a modern Western. When you watch it, it feels like a classic Western. As opposed to the Hateful Eight, which is obviously very stylized, over the top gore, blood, dialogue, all of that stuff over the top, which is a good love letter to what came before it, but it stands out as being something else, if that makes sense.
Okay, so all right. I'm gonna throw it out there because I'm a sci-fi guy anyway. Cowboys versus Aliens.
Yeah.
Craig and Harrison Ford. That's right there. That's my pick.
That is a good movie. It is a good movie.
That's a great movie. That's a callback to the classic sci-fi stuff. Like there's a Western sci-fi movie where they discover a cave that leads them to Land of Dinosaurs. So you have cowboys rustling up like a T-Rex.
Really? Okay, yeah. I don't think I've seen
that. I'll find the movie. I'll send it to you.
What about you, Ryan?
See, I think Tombstone is a modern Western.
Well, that's okay. We can differ. Yeah.
And Young Guns, of course, absolutely. It's that upbeat Hollywood. But then I throw back like Tombstone. It's Kurt Russell is. There's one modern actor who is that John Wayne throwback. It's him.
Okay. That's wild. All right, I'll check that out.
I think right now, if I'm looking at modern, it's what Taylor Sheridan's doing with Yellowstone with 1883.
All right.
With, 1924. Even Yellowstone, it has the backdrop of the frontier.
Yeah.
And it has a lot of the same problems. It's just been modernized.
So I think where I'm getting hung up in what is and isn't modern Westerns is like if you watch Deadwood, the language in Deadwood, and because it looks like a classic Western, but it's the language in it is very modern. The way that they use certain adult language makes it feel more contemporary in a modern contemporary in a Western setting. But Deadwood just not Deadwood. Tombstone for me just feels like it's of that era, and it feels appropriate. But yeah, maybe I'm just getting hung up on formality.
Unforgiven.
Yeah.
I think is a great film. I think it's that.
But I
That's
think Unforgiven kind of it's in that Tombstone-esque type of, because it still has a lot of that classic old West, like homage to it.
Well, I mean, it's hard to find a Western that's not going to have that in it. Yeah.
So I think
Bone the Bone Tomahawk is a modern Western.
Yep.
The Hateful Eight.
Yep.
I have a film that I saw. I saw the trailer for it on Amazon. I meant to watch it. I was even trying to bring up the title, but go ahead. I'm just trying to find the actor that's in it.
So I think the distinction for me is does it sound modern? Does it? Because I don't think that Tombstone and those ones sound modern. I think that they sound appropriately classic Western. But then Young Guns and Young Guns 2, it's very, it's set in that Wild West, but it's, you can tell that it's more contemporary. They take liberties that I think work for the film, but it does take you out of that classic Western feel. All great movies, but
I see what you're saying. Yeah, we have like a modern theme in the Western, set in the Western.
Yeah, that is a great movie, Appaloosa. I've only seen it once, but I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Well, it's going to be stupid, but if I'm going to go modern, it's Once Upon a Time in the West.
That's not stupid. Once Upon a Time in the West is I'm
sorry. No, that's an old one. Oh, son of a gun. The guy who did Family Guy.
100 Ways to Go in the West.
Yeah, there you go. Adam Sandler had one too as well, didn't he?
Oh yeah, the shitty six or something.
So, are you guys familiar with Black Dynamite? The movie Black Dynamite, Michael J. White.
I don't think so.
He has another one coming up. Well, it's not Black Dynamite, but it's called Outlaw Johnny Black.
Okay.
And I watched the trailer for this, and this looks hilarious.
Okay, I'll check out.
It seems like it's on the same line as that. That might be a good modern. But
modern Western. It's got the dialogue would fit in a modern Western. I mean, in a modern movie. Great dialogue, but would and what's his name? Goggins, Walter Goggins, is that his name? I think he's
modern Western
movies. He was the baddie from Justified. He's in Hateful Eight.
The Seth MacFarlane, when I was thinking of it, is A Million Ways to Die in the West.
A Million Ways to Die in the West. That's got a great Back to the Future 3 reference in it too.
Yeah.
I didn't mind that movie. That's definitely a modern Western. Definitely.
Yeah, Walter Goggins in Hateful Eight. Oh God, I forgot Channing Tatum was in it too. God, and I like it. That's scary.
I guess then a good modern Western would be Young Guns. It's the only one I could really think of, because most of them are all homages to everything that we've done in the past. But Young Guns throws in like that, plus you got like John Bon Jovi doing the soundtrack to it, so you have like a modern soundtrack to it. So,
what about Lightning Jack with Paul Hogan? I don't really have a lot of I know the movie you're talking about, but I don't really have a lot of memories of it. Can't really say. I have to revisit it. Lightning Jack.
Blazing Saddles.
And I think with Young Guns too, it was so that's what made it so awesome. It was that devil may care. They all looked really good in the movie, and you just knew it was eye candy. And '80s movies
Hair
in
perfect.
the West.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's a nice
Kinda
modern
damn
Western. Largo.
So then, to round off our live stream, let's finish with a little bit of sci-fi western, and Firefly being, in my opinion, the best TV sci-fi western. Loved that. Loved it.
Well, I mean, that's great. I think for me, Farscape has that Western feel to it as well. You know, the way he names his gun Winona, walks around like he's like shootist and stuff like that, and they're on the run from the law. So it's kind of the same type of deal. Like
True. Star Wars obviously being a standout for the sci-fi westerns.
Even Battlestar Galactica, the original series.
Yep.
Yeah, it's got a Western feel to it as well.
Firefly really leans in. Yes, Mando, absolutely. First season of Mando, I was absolutely hoping that the whole series was going to be just him as a bounty hunter, picking up the bounty of the week, putting them in freeze, and then moving on to the next one. And then it very quickly turned into something different. Not bad, but different. But
You
yes,
you got to throw the Jedi in there somewhere, right? Because it's Star Wars.
First episode, second episode, specifically in the first season, very Western. That I love the shootout in the bar, the fist fights, the ruggedness of it all.
Well, I mean, we'd even bring up things like Brave Star. That's a great Western. Even though it's a cartoon, but it's a great Western theme. Obviously, Western theme. You have Galaxy Rangers, which is another one that was really good.
Right.
With a Western.
True.
I mean, who doesn't like Goose? You know,
True.
like Outlaw Marshall.
Brave Star cartoon. Yep. Brilliant. Yes. A couple of shout outs for Brave Star. It's a great idea as well, having his steed be a sentient being. It really puts a lot of question marks over there. Though, I was like, should I?
I mean, it's just we've had characters where the horse is actually a character, and like Silver in the Lone Ranger is actually character in the show. I'm trying to think of anybody else who had one. No, I can't think of another one other than that. Sorry.
Battle Cat.
No, there's a lot of westerns where the cowboy and his horse are one unit, and
yeah.
You can see where if your horse went down, you were done. So a lot of the not like the 50s and 60s, but as you get farther along, like Silverado, the Man of Snowy River, those type of things, you start to see more of the love for the horse and understanding how important it is to them.
Yeah.
So
true. And then they stop tripping them over with wire just for the sake of making a movie. Right, those falls that they did with their horses. I mean, I will admit, it looks fucking cool, right? When the horse tumbles and the rider falls, and that's great for action, terrible for the horse.
Definitely.
Here's a good one: Jonah Hex.
Yeah.
For or against for Jonah Hex?
I like Jonah Hex. I was trying to think of that movie.
Yeah,
because that's
Jonah
with
well, even
Josh Brolin, yeah.
Yeah, even Nicolas Cage's Ghost Rider, the first one.
Yes.
They had Peter Fonda show up as the original Ghost Rider, and he was the cowboy.
No.
Well, not the original, but he was.
Peter Fonda. You're thinking of.
That was it, Peter Fonda. Wait, who is it? Who was it?
Think big mustache. Think Tombstone.
Was it Sam Elliott?
Yeah.
Sam Elliott was it? Why did I think it was Peter Fonda? He played the devil, right? It's been a while since I've seen that one. Yeah, but anyways, he's the Ghost Rider, right? I'm like, I want to see that movie. I want to see that.
Yeah,
that would have been neat.
I definitely want to see that movie too. If they started off with that movie, it would have been great.
Yeah.
I even like the look of the original Ghost Rider in the comic. I think they changed him to be the Phantom Rider.
Yeah.
The Phantom Rider, is that it?
There's a lot of Western comics.
Yeah, the Colt Kid.
Yeah.
Who else did they have? Lucky Luke.
Yeah, Lucky Luke's a big one, isn't he?
Lucky Luke
He's
was
got that silhouette with the cigarette hanging out of his mouth.
Yeah. They changed. No, they made it a piece of
Gum.
Wheat.
Straw.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
they changed it to wheat or straw or something. But,
That's a lot of good stuff.
Well, speaking
Yeah,
of a
like
lot
I
of good
said, like a lot of the things that I like myself in Space Commander, we think things like this, right? Like this.
Yeah.
And this has a lot of Western like style stuff in it. You know, car chases with the horse traces, a lot of fist fights, a lot of little shootouts and stuff like that. It's just got a really like Western theme to it as you're watching it. It's just fun.
I was going to say, speaking of a lot of good westerns and a lot of good collections, I often find that whenever I see a DVD box set of John Wayne movies, there's always in them, and I don't know why I don't have one in my collection because of it. I should have one, but most of them they don't have True Grit, but they do have the sequel in a lot of these box set collections. So I think it's a sign that I need to check out the sequel, Rooster Cogburn.
I'm gonna have to look that up because I didn't even know it was there.
What's that, Ryan?
I said Rooster Cogburn. It's a good movie. I liked it.
All right. Well, I'll have to check it out. Some of my favorite Jonah Hex lines were from his appearance in the DCAU. I've been known to act foolish, but ain't nobody calls me a liar that goes to bed happy. Yeah, fair enough. That's a tough man line right there.
I like Jim's point about Quigley Down Under, but I think if there was ever anything comparable to the Western United States, it is Australia.
Yeah,
because the outback in Australia still has that same feel as what we have for the Western United States.
I need to. I will revisit Quigley Down Under. And it's got what's his name in it from Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Yeah, and Die Hard.
Oh, yeah. Brad Pitt.
No, not Brad Pitt.
Not Brad. He's looking at the comment. We'll get to the comment in a sec. Who played the sheriff of Nottingham again? Why am I bad with every time we go live? I can't remember.
I can't. It's the same thing with me.
Robert Rickman? No.
Alan Rickman. Alan Rickman. Yeah.
He plays like the ranch guy hires Quigley.
Yeah.
To take care of some stuff, and Quigley doesn't like what he's doing, so they try to kill
him. So here we go. Now, hang on now, Ryan. Let's take away the fact that it's Brad Pitt for a second. But
let me clarify this. So, Legends of the Fall and the assassination of Jesse James. Brad Pitt is a decent actor. He's starred in a number of movies that have been very successful. Sometimes it's like he's trying too hard to be, take me serious as an actor, and he's just not one of those guys who can be taken serious as an actor.
Right.
He's too good looking. Robert Redford could do it.
Yes. I agree. I think, and that's going to lead me to my next point with Brad Pitt, because I 100% agree with you, because I think that those two are comparable in ways that similar look, but vastly different style of acting, right? And I think where Brad Pitt shines is movies like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where that kookiness that he has in acting, like it can be serious, but that kookiness that's sort of behind it, I think works well for Brad Pitt.
What's that one he did with Robert Redford? Like a spy movie.
Oh, that was a great movie.
Yeah, I like that movie. That was great. His acting was great in it.
But see, Robert Redford carried that movie though so well, and Brad Pitt was, like they were saying, his kookiness and was able to come out.
Right.
Yeah.
But Brad Pitt in a Western. I mean, the guy melts women's underwear like, nothing.
But not
So,
Ryan's.
who else in that movie? Like, he just looks at your girl and she's like, "Take me," like,
Yeah.
come on, you can't be serious.
Hey, I liked
So-
him on Bullet. I liked him in Bullet Train. That was a good movie.
That was a good movie. What about this movie though? The Assassination of Jesse James by the Coward Robert Ford. I watched it not long ago. I didn't see it at the cinema. I didn't get it on DVD when those were a thing. I did see it on streaming, and I've got to say it's a long movie, and I didn't think it was an especially good movie. I thought it was okay at best.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was we're going to try to make all these actors look. It was overacting just for the fact they could win an award. That's how it felt to me.
Did they win an award?
Instead of putting the story first and then letting the actors fill it in, it was actors first and then the story. And it's just, you lose it.
Yeah. It was a name piece over a acting piece. I didn't think any of the acting was especially good anyway. Especially the guy that played Robert Ford. What was his name? The brother of someone else that was famous. Anyway, I didn't believe him, and I thought the ending was a bit weak and slapped on too, even though it was already a long-winded movie.
It was in 2007.
Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't find it to be that engaging. And in the end, I'm only watching it. Oh, Casey Affleck. There it is.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thank you, Casey Affleck. In the end, I was only watching it because I wanted to see how it ended, and that's it. Like, if you're not invested in the whole story and you're just waiting for it to end to see how it ends, then yeah, there's a. Oh, thanks, buddy. We appreciate it. I think now we have to go back and rewatch Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, because so many people have called it out as being a great movie, and I know I've seen it, but I've only ever seen it a handful of times, 2 maybe. Do you guys ever see this?
Ned Kelly.
No.
Ned Kelly, played by Mick Jagger.
With Mick Jagger as a bad Aussie. Is that Ned Kelly? That's a Clint Eastwood movie, isn't it?
No, Ned Kelly, played by Mick Jagger. No, Ned Kelly was. We also had one by Aussie actor who played the Joker.
He
played
played
the Joker.
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger. I'm so bad with names today. Heath Ledger also played Ned Kelly, but Ned Kelly, played by Mick Jagger in this. He's saying it wasn't bad. It was. It's very bad.
Well, there's 2 of them. There's 3. There's one from the 70s. Oh yeah, right. Ned 70. That's the one from the 70s. He gets top billing. Mick Jagger.
Yikes.
We'd have to watch that.
All right, we've got a question from Jeff Butler. Thanks, Jeff, for the question. What's the best Western title? One of the best Western titles is God Forgives, But I Don't. It's a good question. I started writing a Western. I think I've talked to you about it, Gaz, and I called it Between Heaven and a Handgun. I thought that was pretty catchy. But I guess one of the best Western titles, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Yeah. Or Tombstone. I know we go back to it, but that's always a good one.
Once Upon a Time in the West. I mean, I think a lot of the spaghetti westerns had really good, catchy names. Yes. Fistful of Dynamite. What do you reckon, Gaz? Throw out one of your favorite Western movie titles. Oh, thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it. No, he's gone to look it up. I'm trying to think what the last good Western movie I saw, because I went back and revisited some John Wayne movies. I can't go past a good John Wayne. The last one was Chisholm. I couldn't get through it.
I think I always go back to like Silverado.
Silverado. Yeah. Hey, he's back.
I was like, wait, what just happened?
It just the film, the places they filmed, the actors were comfortable in their roles. They were really good in their roles. The writing was good. It's just one of those movies you can just sit and watch and watch and watch and go, damn, I don't get tired of this.
Even the cameos, like from why am I doing this today with the names? The guy from Fawlty Towers,
John Cleese
and John. Yeah. Thank you. Far out. His cameo is not. It's a great cameo, but he's a great character in it too. I think it's also Kevin Costner's breakout role or potentially first role.
Yeah, I think it's I think that's the one that put him on the map.
I look at Silverado as two different styles of movies, right? It's the opening scene is just beautiful, but I see it as by the end it becomes like more of a classic Western. But in the beginning, it's kind of a like a treasure hunt movie, right? Because he loses his hat, he loses his horse, he loses his boots, right? and it's like a side quest. It's like a side quest for before the movie begins, and it's also got the guy from First Blood. What's his name?
Brian Dennehy.
Yeah, he's a brick of a man. That guy, he is huge.
Yeah,
and it has the old lady from Kindergarten Cop in it too, the short little one.
Yeah. Oh, Linda Hunt. Yeah.
Is it? Yeah. But the opening scene itself, I think that one calls back to the spaghetti westerns, and then it sort of transitions into like a classic. Reverent, Western or horror? Is the Reverent the one? Is that which one was the one with the bear attack?
I think this is with the one
which one's Reverend?
Isn't this deal with like cannibalism? It's got what's his name there from Titanic, right? That's this one.
Yeah. Is that Leonardo DiCaprio, the Reverend? Is that Leo?
I think that's that one.
Leo Reverend.
Yes, he's another one it's like he's almost too good looking to be in a Western. But I loved him in Django. I thought he was excellent in Django.
Oh, brilliant in Django. I don't think the bear attack is the Reverend. I don't think it's a horror. It's definitely gory. I think it's gore. I don't think it's horror. But I don't think he's very good looking in the Reverend at all. I think that his beard is worse than mine, and he's covered in absolute filth for most of it. I think that he did what Brad Pitt won't do, and that's make himself look disgusting.
I don't think Brad Pitt can look disgusting. That's the problem. Brad Pitt can be rolled in a pile of crap and you go,
yeah,
still handsome. I'd go up to him. Okay.
He makes crap looks good. Have we seen Mad Dog Morgan, where Dennis Hopper plays an Aussie bushranger and was drunk the entire time, acting like a lunatic? I don't think I have seen that, but I kind of want to see it now.
Yeah.
I know that they all got drunk in the Super Mario movie, and none of them were sober for that. I can't blame them.
I don't know what they were thinking in that one. They should have just made it a Western.
I would call Reverend a gory Western. I would call Bone Tomahawk a horror gore Western. But are there any true horror Westerns? Maybe Todd mentioned Dead Birds. Have you guys seen Dead Birds?
No, but there's one with vampires. Like vampires roll into like this Western town, and town folk try to stop it. But I don't know if you want to call that a horror, right? For me, a horror movie is like the classic, like Universal stuff. Like the modern stuff we call horror, I call like it's like gore because it's not really horror. It's scaring the crap out of you because it's so gory.
I think there's a difference between a classic horror and a classic monster movie, though.
Yeah. Well, you know what I'm saying, right?
I do, but I don't look at those classic monster movies as horror. I think of it as I think it's its own distinct genre. Like I know it's probably listed as horror, but classic monster movies, I love Wolfman.
If you look at The Creature from the Black Lagoon, it's like a horror movie. You don't know what it is. It's terrorizing these people, and then you see it, and it becomes a monster movie because it's a horror monster movie. But then you have like the Alfred Hitchcock classics like Birds and that kind of stuff, which is like a suspenseful thriller horror, right?
That's a great movie.
The Wild Wild West with Will Smith made people run for the doors when they were watching it.
I like
that's a horror. That was a slap to the face. So we've got Ravenous as a cannibalistic horror western, and Pericles coming in with Curse of the Undead, which was an old horror western from Universal. Okay.
You know what was a horror? You know what was a horror? Johnny Depp and the Lone Ranger. That was a horror.
Oof. Big oof.
It would have been a great movie if he just didn't act like, what's his name? Jack Sparrow.
Johnny Depp?
It's a Native American. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. It's like it was like he's just playing Jack Sparrow. It doesn't matter.
Yes.
I mean, if they were to do Edward Scissorhands today, it'd just be Jack Sparrow as Edward Scissorhands. I don't think he can do anything. It's just sad though because he made that movie. What is it? Something in the Window, where he plays a writer, and then there's some murders going around, and it ends up being him. I forget what the name of that movie is.
Is that Rear Window?
I think so. Yeah. It was a great movie, a great horror suspense movie. But then you see him do this, you're like, all you're doing is Jack Sparrow now, man. Why don't you just do that movie or whatever?
I think up until he got to, what was the Headless Horseman one?
I like that one. That was good.
What was that one called?
Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah. Sleepy Hollow, right?
Yeah, that was a good one.
Would we consider that a horror western too? Tremors, there is an actual one set in the Old West. I don't know if you've seen that one, Jimbo. You've got your collection of Tremors there, right, Gaz? Does it say the title of the Old West one?
Let's see. Hold on. Where's the listing on there? The listing?
Secret Window.
Yeah, it's one of these. Hold on a second. Shriek Island, A Cold Day in Hell, Bloodlines, Tremors, Back to Perfection, which is probably that. It's probably number 3, or The Legend Begins, number 4. Probably that one.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think it's The Legend Begins because I think the name of the town, because it ends up being called Perfection. I think it was called something different, like Rejection or something, before they changed the name.
Yeah, there it is. It's number 4. It's this one right here. I'll try to get it. It's right there.
Oh, hang on. Let me zoom in on you.
I'm sorry, guys. All right. I'm trying to get it big. There we go. Y'all wearing cowboy hats.
Yeah. Well, that's gotta be it.
Man, if you don't own this, you should get it because this is a classic.
So Adam's gonna ride off into the sunset. Thanks for watching, buddy. Check out Shark Eyes on YouTube. He's a good man. We're gonna have Adam on one of our games nights that's coming up. Adam was actually, aka Shark Eyes, was actually on TV a few times. So,
has he really?
Oh yeah, he's a game show nut. He's the smartest man I know. So he might be able to. Gaz, you won the last games night. I'm sure of it.
If I did, it was by sheer luck.
Yeah. Space
no,
Commander
I think I came in second. I came in second. I think Space Commander still won. I think I won. I think I won the first bit, but no, I came in second. I think I didn't win. It was Space Commander.
Well, number one.
And if I did, then I just default to him anyway.
I think Adam needs to stop using gaggle for all of his answers.
Adam used it.
And number 2, he needs to stop sharing the answers with Space Commander because
he goes to Space Commander for the questions. He's like, "What do you think are good questions?"
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe Space Commander runs gaggle from the space station.
That's it. We found it out.
Delay.
I would love to do a quiz that is Western themed. I reckon that'd be fun.
Just make it all spaghetti westerns, and I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or Lone Ranger.
What's your favorite scene in a Western movie?
And then favorite shootout.
Oh yeah, that's okay.
Okay, favorite scene. Okay. So my favorite scene is, and it always comes back to Stagecoach, is when they first zoom in on John Wayne. And I know I talk this to death. But when they first introduced John Wayne, they zoom in on him and he spins his rifle, and the camera blurs a little before refocusing. And I don't know whether it was because the technology at the time couldn't handle zooming in on that target. But the fact that it's not perfect, but still perfectly captures John Wayne in his breakout performance as Ringo Kid. I just love that iconic moment. That and throwing the kid into the water.
My favorite scene, I'm just gonna take it right out of the Legend of the Lone Ranger. It's when Silver allows him to ride, right? He goes through the whole montage about trying to get to him. He puts the mask on. You know, the scene goes from like he's looking at his brother's grave, turns around, he's got the mask on, and then it's just that classic "Hi-oh, Silver," and then they ride off, and you get the whole trumpet playing. That whole bit. That's probably my favorite scene in a Western movie. Because I'm like all about
Mine is Val Kilmer and in Tombstone with Johnny Ringo.
Yeah.
With the cup.
Yeah, Mary. Is it with the cup or the end shootout?
The cup scene.
That is a great one, but it's when he shoots him, when they have the duel, and he basically tells Wyatt Earp, you can't beat him.
Yeah.
But yet he gets off his deathbed and he shoots him in the head, and he's like,
"Yeah,
come here."
Yeah, I love that scene. And it's mind blowing. But the great thing about it is that it allows you to linger on this this rivalry that has been building. Right? It's not just a "pow, you're dead, I won." It's like he continues to taunt him. And he continues to sort of bring more out of him before he finally collapses. And I love that. I love it. It's great.
You heard the back was it the behind the scenes story about Val walking around with the cup and just going like this the whole time, right? He's just practicing like twirling the cup on his stump because he wanted to just do it right there on screen. It's amazing, hilarious. He was annoying everybody with it apparently.
Ryan, I'm glad you brought that scene up because I think that the duality between their original confrontation with the cup and their final shootout at the end, I think what's great about that is the shift in Johnny Ringo's confidence, right? Like he's super confident when he's surrounded by people, right? But one-on-one, he tries to back out of it, right? He tries to say, "Yeah, my fight's not with you," But then it's like, "Oh man, okay, all right, let's do it." Right, and
I think he broke him with the cup scene in the saloon when he's twirling a cup and every part of him. I think he broke him right there. He knew, oh shit, this guy's too good.
Val Kilmer,
he's
he's a dead man walking anyway.
Yep.
Right now, yeah.
So it's brilliant scene. We've got a couple of other scenes throwing it in there. The opening sequence in Once Upon a Time in the West. It's a slow burn, but the payoff.
That harmonica wailing is just great.
Because it starts with the creaking of the windmill and people just waiting very slowly for this train to roll in. But brilliant slow burn, great sound, great use of sound in that scene. And John Wayne in the Searchers. What do you want me to do? Spell it out? As long as you live, don't ever ask me more. That's a powerful scene. Yep. So then that leads us to favorite shootout. I'll
just say the shootout at the OK Corral in Tombstone just starts off with Kurt Russell going, "Oh God," and then
right. Oh man, and again, it's like at any point in that before that happens, right before Doc gives the that look, right, and then the other guy freaks. The guy who plays Sandman, he gives that freak look. Up until then, any one of the groups could be like, "All right, we'll back out of this," right? But he knows right there and then that they are going to get into a bloody close-up shootout.
And it's
just
chaotic too, right? It's chaotic. It's not like you remember from like the old shows where it's bang bang. It's like just super chaotic. If I remember it correctly.
Ryan, what are you thinking?
For me, it's the Magnificent Seven, the Shootout.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah, I agree.
And even when they did the movie, I think that was the best part of it was the shootout that they did. But for the original, it was just that's what I would think of. Tombstone is absolutely brilliant though, because but still for me it's that Magnificent Seven. There's so many good shootouts though.
Like Robert Vaughn, is it? Robert Vaughn. Yeah,
I'm not good with names. For me, my favorite shootout is John Wayne as he pulls his gun out of his holster real quick and shoots that guy off the roof.
he ricocheted off a stone in the road and went up and in.
I will say, Young Guns, the guy in the toilet.
Oh, yeah. Where Charlie Sheen bites it.
Yeah. That's a pretty good shootout because right there and then, right. First of all, they lose a guy, right? They lose arguably probably the most famous person in that moment for that cast of characters, right? But then a lot of them also get shot. So you're thinking, oh man, these are high stakes. Like anyone can go, anyone can get hit. This isn't your typical shootout where the good guys win. Like good guys, but
it's
still,
just one dude in the outhouse. They can't kill him,
right? In the outhouse, do they kill him though? Do they?
I think they did, right?
I think it's left pretty open. Oh, excuse me. Outlaw Josie Wales. So many good shootouts in the whole film.
That's another good one too.
Another scene that I like is out of Wyatt Earp when I think it's Dodge City. He walks in like his second time. Like running, being the sheriff or the cop in Dodge City, he just walks into town. He's got that sawed-off shotgun, just shoots it. And he goes, "My name is Wyatt Earp," and it all stops now.
Yeah.
Like, you just hear the brutality of Wyatt Earp through Kevin Costner. It's just insane.
I think that it's just as good a movie to an extent. However, and I like Dennis Quaid. But I think Val Kilmer just crushes it. Yeah. Regulators, mount up. Hello, Rolando.
But in Tombstone, the river shootout was really good too. When they're by the place.
Brilliant. And just walking through. Yeah.
The writer's like, no, boom. And then he's like, "Where's Wyatt?" Something like, "Oh, you mean the guy who walked on water? He's over there," or something.
Yeah.
It's just, Kurt Russell gets it.
Kurt Russell's just phenomenal. It's a phenomenal actor.
That's a good idea. Do one on Robin Hood. Prince of Thieves? What about the show Deadwood? Yeah, we were loving on Deadwood before. Great series. Great. I mean, not great movie. Great series. Good movie. But yeah, we love Deadwood, and that's the kind of movie where they don't really typically have a lot of shootouts. It's more of a character piece. Yeah, people definitely get shot, but it's not really a shootout. I also want to do a stream on Red Dead Redemption. I want to do a gameplay one on TJC's channel. But I also want to just I could talk about Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Redemption 2 till the cows come home, and then I'd have to get the ranchers together and bring them all back home.
Spoiler alert, though, man. At the end of Red Dead Redemption, man, I shed a tear, man. I didn't want that guy to go.
Yeah. And then you're stuck as Jack.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, come on.
That's another one too, where they linger on it. Like it's not just down and out. It's like they linger on him for a bit. Yeah. And then it's great game. That one had so much replay value.
It did. It's a fun game to play.
Yeah, I need to get back into it. do a replay on both Red Dead 1 and 2. Oh, brilliant movies. All right, we're at the 2-hour mark, guys. What about we call it an end of a very successful stream? Ryan, thanks for joining us. I hope you can hang out again with us.
Definitely.
If you've got a topic, Ryan, that you would like to do a follow up on, we'd love to have you back.
Hell yeah.
Who is better, Ace Hunter or Chuck Norris?
Ooh,
that's
Ace
easy.
Hunter.
Ace Hunter. Hands down. Sorry, Chuck.
I want to thank everybody that hung out in the chat. Please do leave a like if you haven't already. Straight after this, go and check out Ryan's channel. I do have the link in the description. If you haven't subscribed to Ryan, I hope that he's earned your subscription today. It's a great channel. He does more than just G.I. Joe, but I do appreciate his G.I. Joe videos. And he's got those soothing radio voices that really.
Yes, he does. He does.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying, Gaz?
Yep.
I love it.
Welcome to
Ryan does rule.
It's slow jam tonight. Just me and you all night.
Oh yeah.
Oh night long.
Dad's radio. And one heck of a customizer.
Yes.
Point that out.
Thank you. I am surrounded by better customizers, and I just listen to them, and they
Don't sell yourself short, buddy.
Tricks that
I like your dioramas. Your dioramas look great. Your custom work looks great. I like it when you highlight what is it? Grind. What's that? The customizers.
Gridiron. It's a
Gridiron. Yeah. Oh. When you highlight those. I like watching your upcoming news stuff too, because the voice just gets me. It's like, I can listen. And a big fan of Dreadnoks. Also, really good voice actor too, because he not only did he do the voice for the Mountie for me, which he nailed, he also does a really good Undertaker. So I'm going to have Ryan come back to you.
Can we get a little bit of the Mountie today?
Yeah, let's get some Mountie.
I want to thank everybody for coming to our stream today, where we got to talk about great Westerns, even though we know that the best Westerns come from Canada. You are welcome.
There is one. The Mountie always gets his man. I think that's an actual Western, isn't it?
There you go.
Mountie always gets his man.
I think so. I think
I'm the
I know me and Ken were just going back and forth, and you're just like, hey, did you hear what Ken said? And it's like, oh hell no.
That was a period of my life where I was just every day I was like, what is happening here? Because you guys started your own rivalry, and I ended up turning them into they're just sending me voice clips, right? Ryan and Ken from Toy Connections, they're just sending me voice clips going backwards and forwards in character as the Hitman and the Mountie, and I ended up turning them into their own little vignettes because they were too good not to use. And then obviously one of the best episodes that I'd done to date was the Mountie versus the Hitman. But Ryan, Canadian Mountaineers versus Atomic Invaders. Well, have you seen it, Gaz?
I don't think so. I'm gonna have to look.
All right, we're gonna have to check that one out. But Ryan, it was great to see you. Good to see your luxurious beard and your handsome face. Speaking of handsome faces, Gaz, bloody love to see you too, bud. My beard's getting a little bit crazy. Grisel's beard starring as the bearman of the clubhouse, coming soon to an outback near you. So I'm sort of in between decision making whether or not I'm going to grow a beard, because I haven't shaved or trimmed or anything since December, I think. So I'm thinking that I might just grow my beard out for the full year now and see what a beard looks like.
You're gonna do that?
Yeah, just really get them looped up.
I had to trim mine down. I like the 5 o'clock shadow look.
We'll have to do a beard stream with Crash, Ryan, and we'll do comparisons. Beard Force. Do it. I'm gonna do it. Crash, let me know when we want to do the Crash and Burn stream, because I want an adults only live stream, and I seriously want to have Crash. So my idea is a show called Crash and Burn, where Crash Unfiltered, just talks about whatever comes to his mind. Unfiltered and just ready to go. I need it. It's going to be wild. Hello, Pilgrim. How are you? Thanks for joining us. We're almost out of here, though. Beard Force is greater than Action Force. Beard Force.
Beard Force.
So, Crash, please. We've got to do it. Adults only. Crash and burn. Unfiltered Crash. Whatever he says goes. Please. Please, I need it. I need it.
Will it break the internet?
I even came up with a thumbnail and everything. It's ready to go. I'm ready when you are. Let me know when we're going to do it. I need to know. On that note, we'll go right off into the sunset. Any final words before we leave, fellas?
Real quick. Hey, I know I say this a lot, but we as a community need to look out for one another. So if you know your friends or family are struggling with anything out there, make sure you're just checking in with them. Tell people that you care for them, that you love them, that they're important to you. We are more the same than we are different. And don't let the drama queens ruin what's really been a great community to be part of. So that's all I've got.
Well said. Well said.
Well said.
Love it.
Well said.
Lethal Crash. Yeah. Full follicle. I'll have a target on my back if I say what you want, mate. I've got your back, buddy. I've got your back. You say whatever you want, however you want. If you want to filter yourself, you're welcome to. But Ryan, you're absolutely right. Well said. And you are true. It's a weird time right now where there seems to be some sort of divide happening, whether it's conscious or subconscious. And it is sad to see. I've seen some friends come and go recently, which makes me sad to no end. And I've seen some people change dramatically, which also makes me sad to no end. When these are largely people that I know are good people, and but well said, Ryan. I couldn't say it any better than you, but it's good to hang out. Love you both, and keep up the beard growth. Gaz, next Shoot the Shit. When are we coming back?
Next week, we'll have to think of a topic.
All right, get yourself a beard before then.
I just shaved it, man. I just shaved it off.
If he comes back with a stuck on beard, that would be hilarious.
All right,
Ryan, you're welcome back anytime. And in fact, if you have an idea for a show, I would love to do it.
I want to talk Chuck Norris movies. I think very underrated action films of the 80s. I just think some of his were Lone Wolf McQuade, Man in Black. It's just
all right, let's do it. What we call it, Chuck it at you.
Chuck? Shoot this shit with Chuck?
What's up, Chuck?
What's up, Chuck? Shoot the shit.
Shoot the Chuck. All righty. So, I'm open to a Chuck Norris one.
Yeah, me too.
More than open. All right, guys. Well, in that full force.
Here's